All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for attending our Topic Tuesday webinar today. Today, we are featuring the Pomerantz Career Center. My name is Hannah. I work as a graduate assistant within orientation services here at the University of Iowa. Our webinar series each Tuesday features presentations by many different campus offices throughout the summer. You can see all of our webinars available and register for them on our website, Orientation Services. Today for this webinar, we will be utilizing the live Q&A feature. So if you have a question, feel free to type that into the chat and our team will work to answer those questions throughout the presentation. And just so you all know, there will be an opportunity at the end or even like throughout the presentation in general, where our presenter will answer some questions live, especially if a lot of people have the same question. Just as a quick note here before we get started, if you want to access this material after the presentation is over, you can find the link to our YouTube page on our website, Orientation Services. The specific website is newstudents.uiowa.edu. So at this time, we can go ahead and get started. I would like to introduce my campus colleague, Alicia, who is representing the Pomerantz Career Center.
Well, hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Again, my name is Alicia Jones, and I'm a career coach at the Pomerantz Career Center. And today we'll talk a little bit more about how your student can utilize the Career Center, the services and the resources that we have available, and learn a little bit more about how new students can get involved with our office really right away. So one of the things that we often talk about with students is building skills. So in the essence of time, I won't have you put in any answers to this question, but you can get your minds thinking about some of these career topics. So what are the top 3 skills employers seek on an entry-level resume? So you might have some things coming to mind. The top 3 skills that employers say they're looking for this year. It can change slightly from year to year, but this year they listed problem-solving skills, teamwork skills, and written communication skills. And these are called transferable skills. So transferable skills students are acquiring in any type of work setting that easily transfer over to any other type of work. So they're not specific to major. They're skills that students are acquiring through a part-time job, through volunteering, through their academic courses, through internship possibilities. And so these are all things that we talk about with students as ways that they can really start gaining those skills to build their resume and build their skill set through those different activities and involvements and experiences that they'll have at Iowa. So the Career Center works with almost all of our undergraduate majors. So you'll see on this slide these specific colleges that we do work with. So for students that are in all of those various colleges, they have the Career Center to provide that assistance to them. The only students that we are not directly serving are students within our College of Engineering. They have their own career services office, but again, all other students we are working with. And we encourage students to visit us early and to visit us often. There's several things that students can do, even that first semester on campus, to start working on their career development and their career exploration. And unlike academic advising, which you may have that appointment coming up soon with your student, career advising is not required. So it is up to the student to really seek out those services and those resources. But again, we think that we offer a lot that students can start doing right away. Just a slide on the engineering career services in case we do have some of those parents and family members in attendance. They're located in the Siemens Center, which is really where a lot of those College of Engineering classes are. So we like to see students progress through the steps that you see here on the slide. And certainly new students, whether or not they have a major or whether they're coming in as an open major, all students can benefit from spending time in that explore stage. This is where students can really just start examining who they are in terms of interests, abilities, values, and start learning more about those majors of interest, or again, if they have that major, start thinking about, well, what can I do with this? What are my career possibilities? So within that explore stage, we might talk to students about the value of taking a career assessment. This is a great fit for someone who is an open major or really undecided on their particular program of study, or maybe they're just overwhelmed by the number of options that Iowa provides. A career assessment can be a great starting point for students to really get a sense of who they are in terms of those interests and how those align with different career possibilities. We often talk to students too about the importance of volunteering or having a job shadow or what's called an informational interview, which is really just a fancy term for having a conversation with someone who works in a profession of interest to them. These are all topics of conversations and all things that we can brainstorm to give students those ideas as to where to look for those opportunities, who to contact, how do you ask someone for that experience. And so again, we'll coach students on that and what that looks like. We also just encourage students to, again, get involved on campus, think about some of those student organization involvements, all ways where they're building those skill set, building some of those transferable skills that we talked about earlier, and building their resume. So when it comes time to then search for a leadership role or maybe an internship position down the road, they have a great resume to really showcase to wherever they're applying, and it's got some good experiences on it. I mentioned career assessment. We have several career assessments, but one in particular that we're really fond of is our U-Science career assessment. Now, this is not connected to the field of science at all. It's more the science of you. And so what U-Science does is takes a look at a student's career interests, which all career assessments will do. What makes U-Science unique, though, is that it's also bringing in the aptitude piece. So it's going to identify a student's skills and talents. And then within the occupational results, students will see jobs that are aligned with both their interests and abilities. So they'll see some of those options that really reflect things that they enjoy, but also things that they do well. So like I said, if your student is an open major or kind of questioning maybe a declared major choice at this point, or even if they have that major in mind, U-Science can still be a great assessment, I think, for everyone. It is, again, identifying those abilities. So it gives students, I think, a boost of confidence to see a particular skill or talent highlighted. And then again, the occupational results that it can provide can be a good first step in learning more about some of these potential fits. So U-Science is a free assessment for students to take. Students can sign up on our website, and this is something they can do right now if they want to. They don't have to wait until the start of the school year. If they wanted to take it over the summer, they certainly can. You can find it on our website just by putting U-Science in the search bar, and then that sign up will pop up. So we also offer a career community model for advising. So what that means is that each career coach has assigned career communities that they work with. And you can think of this more as a career interest area. So they're loosely aligned with the majors that we have here at Iowa, but any student in any major can meet with any coach within any career community. And we advise this way because we want students to think beyond what can I do with my major? That's a great first question to ask for sure. And we're certainly equipped to provide responses to that. But we also want students to think more about, well, what's of specific interest to me? What type of work setting do I see myself in? What types of jobs, duties, and tasks feel like they would be good fits for me? And so students can meet with that career coach who is a little bit more knowledgeable about employers, job titles, types of opportunities regarding full-time jobs or internships. So they can have a very tailored conversation with a career coach specific to their interests and talk more about those particular industries that they want to know more about. So this is how students would schedule an appointment with a career coach on My UI. They would select what career interest they have. But again, if students are overwhelmed, if they're an open major, we do have an open major option for students as well. So we understand certainly that students are sometimes thinking about career questions, career needs outside the 8 to 5 workday. And while we certainly encourage students to have that appointment with a career coach, we know that sometimes they want information more accessible and quickly. So My Career Path is a completely online program that allows students to get a sense of some of these career activities and milestones that would be good to think about meeting. So based on students' career interests, based on some of the career objectives or goals that they have, what My Career Path will do is offer a very specified and very tailored approach to thinking about what career fairs would be good to attend, what career activities should that student think about completing, and just other career to-dos that would be good to have on their radar screen. So they can certainly use this in conjunction, of course, with a career coach too, but this would be something completely online. They can do that completely on their own time. And also this is something that students can get started with right away. They don't need to wait until the start of the school year. The Career Center also offers a variety of academic courses that focus on career development, professional development, career exploration, and these are courses for academic credit. So two classes that I think are great fits for new students are our Major in Career Exploration class. So this is a nice fit for a student who is an open major or has that major in mind, and now they're wondering, what are my career possibilities? So it is a 1-credit semester hour course. It's offered twice a semester because it's only 7 weeks in length, so a little bit shorter of a course. And through this class, students take the U-Science career assessment that I talked about earlier. They also have an opportunity to meet with employers, talk more about what that employer's work looks like, just hear tips and advice and be able to answer questions. They're able to have an informational interview with a professional that's of interest to them. And because it's a class, it's just more thoroughly that time that students spend researching those majors of interest and researching those occupations of interest. And so we do have both online and in-person sections of this course. And again, this is something that students can sign up for this fall if they want to, or even think about it for spring too. Another set of courses is our Career Leadership Academy. So this is actually a 2-semester academic program. So the first semester is looking at a student's personal leadership style, and then also looking at leading within a group. So taking into account some of those group dynamics that come into play. The second semester is then looking at leading within the community, and there is a service project associated with that. And then leading within the workplace. So what type of employer expectations will employers have of students coming into internships and those full-time job opportunities? You don't have to take the semesters consecutively, so you can certainly take a break in between. This is a 3-semester hour credit course, and it's the full length of the semester. But again, we have both online and in-person options available, and something that students can get started with right away too. Handshake, you might have heard of Handshake at this point. So Handshake is our job and internship database. So on Handshake, students can find a variety of positions. So on-campus jobs, including work-study positions, local part-time jobs in the Iowa City area, internships, and of course, full-time positions. So we like to say it has something for every student, no matter what type of opportunity they're looking for. So your students might be most interested in maybe part-time work at this point, if they're thinking about working on campus this fall. They can start searching and applying for those positions right now if they wish. So they can certainly go on to Handshake. It's a free system for students to access. They can do that searching, they can apply through the system, and they can certainly be set up for that first job on campus at the start of the fall semester, if that's what they're looking for. Also on Handshake, students can sign up for mock interviews, and Handshake also hosts a variety of virtual events with employers around the country that students can sign up for and attend through the Handshake platform. So there's lots that Handshake will offer them. Internships, you probably know, are a pretty crucial piece of a student's career development. Again, on Handshake, students can find internship listings for companies across the country, even internationally. They'll see internship listings with large corporations, mid-sized companies, small nonprofit organizations. Most internships are usually for students who are at junior or senior year, although there can be some opportunities for sophomore students. And internships can happen year-round, fall, spring, summer. Certainly during the school year, students can find opportunities that would be closer to Iowa City, but they can also pursue something that would be further away through a remote opportunity. We're still seeing employers post several remote opportunities, internships, and full-time positions. Certainly, though, they can also expand that search during the summertime, maybe look more in their hometown or somewhere else, and they'll find those opportunities as well. And again, these are conversations that we can have with students, showing them how to navigate Handshake, certainly prepping those application materials that they'll need, resumes, cover letters, preparing to interview, showing them other resources as well. We want to make sure that students are able to find those experiential education opportunities. There's a variety of ways for students to connect with employers as well. So we have about 600 companies that actively recruit on campus. So this might be attending one of our career fairs. It might be hosting a information session. It might be volunteering their time to help students practice their interviewing skills. So lots of great opportunities to connect. We also host several career fairs throughout the school year. We have 2 large career fairs during the fall and spring semester. These are our all majors fairs. So lots of employers, any major can attend. In the past couple of years, we've had about 150 to 160 employers attend those fairs. We also host more smaller targeted fairs that would which would be good for students in particular majors and connecting with those employers. So like this fall, we'll have an actuarial science, insurance and risk management career fair. We'll host a health, science, and sustainability career fair. And then in the spring, we usually have an education fair. So there's, plenty of opportunities for those students to connect at a career fair. One of the things that we also do are sponsor career treks. So these are more like career field trips that is a good way to think of them. And so these are opportunities, usually 1 day, maybe 2-day opportunities to meet with employers in a particular industry or centered around a particular employment or job theme. So this fall we'll have a science and nature trek. We'll have a writing and publishing trek. We'll have a therapeutic recreation trek. We'll have a forensics and criminology trek. So it's kind of smaller, more intimate ways for students to really connect with employers. Some of these are overnight visits, some are not. If they have an overnight component, then there might be a small minimal fee for that. But we try to keep these very low cost or free so that all students can partake if they want to. So these is just a small sampling of some of our employer partners. So again, those people that are actively involved with recruiting Iowa students. But we go out across the country and we meet with employers from wherever. We try to listen to where students are telling us where they want to go after graduation, which geographic locations are of most interest to them. And so we're always building new relationships and certainly maintaining those present relationships too. If you work for an organization that's interested in partnering with Iowa or just learning more about what it looks like to recruit at Iowa, we certainly encourage you to connect with us. We'd love to build that relationship with you. So oftentimes we get questions from students and families about where Hawkeyes are going after graduation. Students like to know where someone is going with their major. What types of jobs are they finding? So that is information that you can actually access on the Career Center website. So this is just a snapshot of our employment dashboard. And so here you can search by particular major and you can see what some of those job outcomes are. What companies are hiring that major, what job titles are they being hired for, what are they making in terms of a salary, where are they living and working geographically. So this can be a great way to just start thinking about that career exploration piece, start thinking about where do I want to go after graduation, even though it's pretty early still, but it's never too early to just kind of get a sense of where you might be headed with a particular major. So you can find that information online at our website, so very easy to access. So what we like to say is if you don't want your student landing here after graduation, we encourage them to utilize our services and certainly share what you're hearing today with your student as well. So this is just a quick summary of all the different things that we did talk about, all the ways that you can help. Feel free to take a picture of that with your cell phone if you'd like, but certainly things that you can keep in mind as you think about starting the school year, thinking about helping students with their career exploration, with their career development. These are certainly all things that you can suggest and encourage them to do and get involved with. And as I've said kind of throughout the presentation, a lot of these things students can do right now, including having an appointment with a career coach. So if your student is feeling a little bit lost or overwhelmed, or maybe they just really are super excited about getting involved. Those are all things that we can discuss. We can talk about ways where they can start building their resume, start building that skill set, or just ways that they can learn more, really work on that career education piece, learn more about different jobs and industries that are of interest to them. So certainly don't be shy in encouraging your student to utilize our career coaches and just the Career Center in general. So that is all I have for you today. Yeah, I'm happy to take questions that you have at this point. other things that you're wondering about, things that you want further clarification on? Well, that must mean that I did a great job. And I answered all of those questions. Oh, maybe we have one.
Yes, we do have one question. Someone asked in the Q&A, are the LS courses through the Career Center? How do they register for those?
Yes, yeah, the leadership studies courses, that would be that Career Leadership Academy course that I talked about. Yes, those are available through the Career Center. I forget the specific course number for that off the top of my head. But anything that's labeled LS, that's one way where you can search for it. Those will be all, and there's other leadership studies courses as well, but Career Leadership Academy will be within that LS listing. I do see a question about student loans. So yeah, it looks like orientation is typing out an answer for that one. And then are there specific resources for transfer students? Honestly, I mean, at the Career Center, all of our services are for all students. So we don't have anything in particular for transfer students career-wise. We certainly would encourage transfer students, though, depending on kind of the time frame they're coming in. If they're coming in after, finishing those 2 years, maybe at a community college, and now they're coming in as a junior, certainly we would encourage them to think definitely about that internship piece or starting to get some of that experiential education. And sometimes that's not always an internship. That can be a research or a lab job on campus. It can be a field work course through their major, but ways that they're really starting to apply that classroom knowledge in a real life setting. So those will be important because their time at Iowa will probably be a bit shorter if they're looking at graduating again then within another 2-year time frame. So they will want to think pretty quickly right away about how can they prepare themselves and then start searching for those experiential education opportunities. But again, all conversations that we can have with those transfer students. Let's see. Can this opportunity help us get in contact with certain professors and lab leaders? So we don't necessarily make the connection for students, but we can certainly give them ideas on where to look. And again, how to approach, like how do you approach a professor that's doing research of interest to you? And maybe that's something that you want to get involved with. So we can talk about how they can approach that person, what questions to ask, what would they want to have ready, maybe their resume to hand to them as they're asking for a particular opportunity. So we can walk through some of those steps. Certainly with like the lab or the research roles, those that are considered paid on-campus jobs, several of those will be listed on Handshake. So students can find those opportunities, several opportunities, just by looking on Handshake for those different experiences that are of interest to them. Our experiential learning opportunities. Oh, I saw it. Where'd it go? Something about experiential education opportunities available to first years. There certainly can be. Internship, something labeled an internship, would again probably be for an older student, but students could get started with a lab position right away if they wanted to. Also, looking at just even getting involved on campus, taking on a leadership role, that can be a way for students to start building that skill set. So there are things definitely that even as a first year, they can certainly take advantage of and really start building that skill set. Would you encourage to apply for internships to people who finish 2 years of an associate degree online during high school? Oh, good question. Well, I think that depends on kind of what your graduation timeline looks like. If you think you will be finishing up at Iowa pretty early within that 2-year time frame, then again, yeah, having those experiences will be good to have. If you think that you'll still be at Iowa for even like maybe a 3 or 4 year time frame, you probably don't need to start seeking for those opportunities right away, but really just keeping in mind when that anticipated graduation date will be, and then thinking about how much time you have remaining to then seek out some of these different opportunities. It could be maybe it's not even an internship, even having a campus job that would be tied to the work that they're interested in. I mean, again, the lab and research roles are an example of that. But it could be maybe a student has an interest in marketing. They do marketing for Hancher Auditorium that brings in lectures and speakers and plays. So even having that type of experience would be of benefit to them, even though it's not labeled an internship. Okay, I think that answers all of the ones that came in through the Q&A. Perfect. All right, well, thanks everyone for joining us today, and hopefully you'll be able to maybe utilize some of our services this summer. If not, during the start of the school year, we look forward to working with your students, and go Hawks!
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alicia. Just as some closing reminders, this content can be accessed on Orientation Services YouTube page, which can be found through our website, which is newstudents.uiowa.edu. I want to thank you all for taking the time to attend today's Topic Tuesday webinar. And following the conclusion of today's series, we will have another Topic Tuesday webinar, which will be next Tuesday, June 11th. The theme is Prepping for Life as a Student, which will feature financial aid, campus safety, and technology at Iowa. You can learn more about the series and register for these webinars on our website, and we hope to see you all then. Go Hawks!